This is from the period of my life when I actually believed problems could be solved with horses. And then I realized the horse wasn't going to do it. And so this was from a series of poems I wrote about June. So June and I decided to drop out of college, which at that time was meaningless to us. It was a lot of gray lecture halls and philosophy classes that I was glazed over. And we decided to go to Guatemala and drop out of college. And so this is June. Later we decided, okay, we're not gonna get the horse won't give us meaning. We're going to Guatemala, and maybe that will work. So I'm going to cut into this poem. And by the way, thank you to the pop-up bookstore over there. The book is over there for $10, or in other words, less than retail. And if you'd like to check it out. June and I, we went to our friend, her mother was dying at a very young age. And so we went to visit her mother because she had asked us to. But when we arrived there, the friend wasn't there and the dying mother was. And so this is about that. It's also about Patty Hearst, I'm sorry. Because that was happening at the same time. I was in high school visiting the glass box house the winter Patty Hearst was kidnapped. There was a woman dying there in this house. I kept repeating, in this house, as I approached. June and I were friends with Nikki and had come to visit and to say what we could to her mother. Her mother was dying after all. We were all going to be English majors, yet I had not applied to any college. What was the point of that, I thought? The world is dying anyway. The house was soaring metal beams and glass and a bed with a mother in a white robe. Her back against the backboard, her hair lustrous, her cheeks gaunt. I remember that as if proof that one could exist between worlds. She was a shell left by the ocean that one picks up and turns over. And there was only the caretaker ushering us to the corner of the bed. There were chairs, but we stood. And Nikki was out, the caretaker announced. Nikki is out, we repeated to the caretaker. There was that high school spike in our voice. Didn't she know we had come to say goodbye to her mother? We had come to affirm something. All the curtains were pulled back from the floor-to-ceiling windows and a shimmering display around the bed. I thought, this woman was the daughter of someone herself. Her small hands held shreds of ribbon. I'm holding on to these, she said, reading my mind. There was nothing in the room save the bed, 2 chairs, and the standing caretaker, and now us, the standing girls with teacups. I have to be more. There has to be more. I may have said this to myself 100 times. She asked us what we were reading. Unamuno, June whispered. The woman whispered back, La Palabra. Did you read that one? We stared at her, her dark hair, her white robe. Del sentimiento trágico de la vida. The tragedy, the sense of life, she translated for us. I was suddenly transfixed by the Spanish language, which I would end up majoring in. We shook our heads. Perhaps more pastries or breads? The caretaker came in to offer this. Unamuno, his voice weighs nothing, the mother said. Walking out into the night air, later I looked up into the sulfur light. More branches, sky beyond. Looking back, the caretaker was pulling the curtains and I felt dizzy. Winters in Chicago are brutal. Everyone says this. The lake has frozen over in the winter. The water turned sharp and haunting and then glossy black and slowly gave up sheets of white ice. Going home on the bus that night, I wore my moccasins, my hoodie, my round hipster glasses. I noticed 3 others looking out the bus window, and from there we saw the small ice mountains guarding the snowy beaches. I was thinking exactly one summer ago, my friends and I lay there, right there where the snowy mountain was. There was our beach. And high school friends and I let the sand sift lazily through our hands while we talked and greased ourselves with tanning oil and analyzed family and teachers and God. In the summer, we all had that look, flip-flops and expensive bags, cut-off shorts with fringe and black t-shirts, dramatic and desolate, with long hair and dark eyeshadow. We looked like calm heiresses. Seen from a distance, we all looked like Patty Hearst on the beach. In the kitchen that night, I told my mother about my friend's mother, the dying one, and I didn't expect her to cry. But she did, and she brought me to her bedroom and showed me a picture of her dying friend, her best friend from high school. She has breast cancer, my mother said, and her hand reached for the photo on her bureau and all the tight black curls around that milky face she fingered. And she stood up in her bedroom, and I stood there too, and we both felt a collapse. I'm going to stop this here because in my daydreams I dream that I do find Patty Hearst, even though the FBI could not find her. I was a big daydreamer in high school.